But as time passed, even hugging each other seemed a little boring. Each knew every hair of the other. Strap couldn't help wondering, there must be still more to life. Yellow saw how restless he was and tried to make him extra happy and comfortable. Just think how much better this is than that awful mess we left, she said. But we don't know what's at the top, he answered. Maybe we were wrong to come down. Maybe now that we've rested, the two of us could make it to the top. Maybe now that we've rested, the two of us could make it to the top. This tribe, please, she begged. We have a nice home, and we love each other, and that's enough. It's so much more than all those lonely clampers have. She was so sure Strap let her convince him, but only for a while. Strap's hankering for the climbing life worsened. The pillar haunted him. He crawled there regularly, looking up and wondering. But the top remained clouded. One day, at the pillar, 3/3 started Strap. 3 big caterpillars had fallen from some place and smashed. 2 seemed dead, but one still wiggled. Strap whispered, "What happened? Can I help?" He made out just a few words. "The top, the will see, but the flies alone." The caterpillar died. Strap crawled home and told Yellow. They were both very sober and quiet. What did the mysterious message mean? Had the caterpillars fallen from the very top? Finally, Strap announced, "I've got to go. I must go and find out the secret of the top. And more gently, will you come and help me?" Yellow struggled inside. She loved Strap and wanted to be with him. She wanted to help him succeed. But she couldn't believe that the top was worth all it asked to get there. She wanted to get up too. The crawling life wasn't enough for her either. She also had to admit that it looked like the pile was the only way to do it. Strap seemed so sure that Yellow felt ashamed not to agree. She also felt stupid and embarrassed, since she could never put her reasons into words that his kind of logic would accept. Yet somehow, waiting and not being sure was better than action. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't explain. She couldn't prove anything. But for all her love, she couldn't go with Strap. She just knew climbing was the wrong way to get high. "No," she said hard. She felt like doing something, anything, rather than this uncertain waiting. What in the world do I really want? She sighed. It seems different every few minutes, but I know there must be more. Finally, she became numb and wandered away from everything familiar. One day, a grey-haired caterpillar hanging upside down on a branch surprised her. He seemed caught in some hairy stuff. Just him in trouble, she said. Can I help? No, my dear. I have to do this to become a butterfly. Her whole inside slept. Butterfly, that word, she thought. Tell me, sir, what is a butterfly? It's what you are meant to become. It flies with beautiful wings and joins the earth to heaven. It drinks only nectar from the flowers and carries the seed of love from one flower to another. Without butterflies, the world would soon have few flowers. It can't be true, gasped Yellow. How can I believe there's a butterfly inside you? Or me, when all I see is a fuzzy worm? How does one become a butterfly? She asked pensively. You must want to fly so much that you're willing to give up being a caterpillar. You mean to die? Asked Yellow, remembering the three who fell out of the sky. Yes and no, he answered. What looks like you will die, but what's really you will still live. Life is changed, not taken away. Isn't that different from those who die without ever becoming butterflies? And if I decide to become a butterfly, said Yellow hesitantly, what do I do? Watch me. I'm making a cocoon. It looked like some hiding, I know, but a cocoon is no escape. It's an in-between house where the change takes place. It's a big step since you can never return to caterpillar life. Doing the change, it will seem to you or to anyone who might peek that nothing is happening, but the butterfly is already becoming. It just takes time. And there's something else. Once you are a butterfly, you can really love, the kind of love that makes new life. It's better than all the hurricane caterpillars can do. Oh, let me go and get striped, Yellow said. But she sadly knew he was too far into the pile to possibly reach. Don't be sad, said her new friend. If you change, you can fly and show him how beautiful butterflies are. Maybe he will want to become one too. frustration surged through Stripe, but as you were agreeing, this was the only way up, you heard a tiny whisper from the top. There's nothing here at all. He was answered by another. Quiet fool, they will hear you down the pillar. We are where they want to get. That's what's here. Stripe felt frozen. But some were shocked and even stopped climbing to hear him better. One of these whispered in English, "Don't say it even if it's true. What else can we do?" Strip's answer shocked them all, including himself. "We can fly. We can become butterflies. There's nothing at the top and it doesn't matter." As he heard his own message, he realized that he had misread the instinct to get high. To get to the top, he must fly, not climb. Stripe looked at each caterpillar, inebriated with joy that there could be a butterfly inside. But the reaction was worse than before. He saw fear in eyes that didn't stop the listener speak. This happy, glorious news was too much to take, too good to be true. And if it wasn't true, the hope that lit up the pillar dimmed. All seemed confused and unreal. The way down was so immensely long, the vision of the butterfly faded. And in pain he continued down, searching for those eyes which would let him whisper, "I saw a butterfly. There can be more to life." One day, finally, he was down. Chapter 7. Tired and sad, Stripe crawled off to the old place where Yellow and he had roamed. She was not there, and he was too exhausted to go further. He crawled up and fell asleep. When he finally awoke, he found the yellow creature feigning him with wings of light. "Is this a dream?" he wondered. But the dream creature acted awfully real. She stroked him with her feelers and, most of all, looked at him so lovingly that he began to trust that what he had said about becoming a butterfly must be true. She walked a little distance away, then flew back. She repeated it as if he would follow. So he did. They came to a branch from hope I'll see you soon. And switching back to French. J'espère donc que cette histoire vous a plu. Si vous l'avez comprise, peut-être que vous ne l'avez pas comprise, c'est ok. Peut-être que vous avez compris avec les images. C'est ce qui est bien aussi dans ce genre de livre, c'est que c'est qu'il y a des images. Et même si vous ne comprenez pas tous les mots, vous pouvez saisir le sens de l'histoire, ça c'est cool. C'est une jolie histoire du coup à propos, qui parle d'espoir, mais qui parle de... comment on appelle ça? Quand je parle en français, j'ai du mal à trouver mes mots. Du coup c'est l'inverse. Enfin, dans les deux langues quoi, j'ai du mal. Donc je parle 3 langues. Français, anglais, espagnol. Ce qui veut dire non pas que je parle parfaitement 3 langues, mais que maintenant je parle mal 3 langues. Et ça c'est chouette. Alors c'est une histoire qui parle aussi de développement personnel. Et que parfois pour aller plus haut, pour aller plus loin, on n'est pas obligé de suivre la masse, on n'est pas obligé de se marcher dessus les uns les autres. On peut aussi parfois prendre le temps d'avoir une introspection, on peut prendre le temps de se découvrir soi-même, de voir de quoi on est capable, de voir qui on est, ce qu'on veut dans la vie, qui on veut être et comment on peut y arriver, parce qu'il y a toujours d'autres moyens. Enfin, toujours, c'est un bien gros mot, mais souvent il y a d'autres moyens d'arriver aux mêmes fins. Voilà. Et donc, comme je disais en anglais aussi, vous n'êtes pas obligé de plonger dans le côté philosophique de l'histoire. Vous pouvez très bien rester en surface. Elle est très sympa aussi comme ça l'histoire. J'espère qu'elle vous aura plu. Je vous souhaite une très belle soirée, très belle journée ou nuit. J'espère que vous avez pu vous reposer